in Center of Artificial Intelligence, working in forensic speech forensics, and medical imaging, respectively. We will also be joined by Muskan Goel, an undergraduate radiology student. We are excited to take you on a small journey of AI for everyone.
A warm welcome to everyone. In a world where time is our most valuable asset, we are gathered here to explore how online AI tools are revolutionizing productivity across the industries. Innovators and tech enthusiasts, today we explore into the fascinating world of online AI tools and their incredible power to transform how we work and achieve more. This is where productivity meets the future.
Our workshop is your gateway to understand how online AI tools are reshaping the way of working and creating an efficient future. It's not magic, but it's close. Join us today as we demystify the art of using online AI tools to turn ordinary productivity into extraordinary accomplishments. As we delve deeper in today's discussion, we will uncover even more ways in which AI is transforming our lives. Now, I would like to request all the dignitaries to kindly come for lamp lighting. Let's welcome them with a huge round of applause.
I would like to request Dr. Shabnam Bhandari ma'am, Department of Radiology, to come on stage and provide address our audience.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here today, to be having a workshop in the heart of our own School of Medical Sciences and Research on the burning topic of today, which is artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is everywhere in our lives today, and to a very great extent, it's in radiology as well. So in radiology, we have a lot of tools whereby the artificial intelligence can increase the efficiency and rate of working of radiologists. And we hope that we can develop at some time in the very, very near future the AI tools from our in-house team, which we are working closely with Dr. Professor Ashok. So we really look forward to having this CME, and I congratulate the organizers, Dr. Ashok, Professor Ashok and his team, as well as the faculty, and I welcome you all today for this wonderful meeting. I'm sure we are all going to learn a lot. I'm looking forward to learn a lot. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am, for your enlightening words. Now it's my privilege to welcome Professor Dr. Ashok Kumar, sir, Head of Center for Artificial Intelligence in Medicine, Imaging and Forensics, and also Professor in Physics in the School of Basic Sciences and Research. Sir has done his Master's in Physics from IIT Kanpur and PhD from Johns Hopkins University, USA. Sir has postdoctoral experience at Stanford University in microfluidics and from Massachusetts General Hospital jointly with Harvard Medical School in medical imaging. Sir is awarded with US National Science Foundation's Antarctica Service Medal of USA. Sir has also worked in biomedical instrumentation industry. Currently, Sir's research involves applications of artificial intelligence in medicine, medical imaging, musical acoustics, speech and handwriting forensics, space physics, and nanoindentation. So kindly join us in welcoming Professor Dr. Ashok Kumar sir to enlighten us on the topic using AI tools for enhanced productivity without programming. Thank you.
Thank you, Mukaju. I really thank Shabnam ma'am for her kind words today, and I really thank also Chief Proctor sir who is here. And I was just talking with him, and he has so many great ideas about AI and its role in our life. And we also have Dr. Hemant here, who is actively working in AI in dental sciences, and Professor Ruqayya ma'am and all other our colleagues, and all of you, large number of students. I'm glad to see such a gathering, such a number. Actually, the topic of today, online AI tools for enhanced productivity without programming, is applicable to many people, a much larger number of people than those people who usually are called technically savvy, right? But modern generation, this 21st century generation, is actually much more tech savvy than we ever used to be, right? As children, I see my little nieces and nephews and those, they are much more smarter than us in these areas. And they are getting very, very tech savvy. And they have to be. Not only them, but us too. AI is changing our lives in a big way. We have seen only the tip of the iceberg. Actually, big iceberg is still there. And, you know, it's like something which can usher into a great future, a wonderful future, and it has its dangers also. It's like a knife. In a surgeon's hand, knife is a lifesaver. In a kitchen, it cooks our food, helps us cook our food. And in a murderer's hand, it can kill, right? So AI is a very, very powerful tool. And it has all those kinds of capabilities too, to help us or to cause danger to us. Many people have realized that, but we can't hide away from, just because AI may be dangerous, we have to hide away from it. Remember how the fire was invented. Imagine you are in a very early primitive human being, and fire is something very mysterious, very destructive, very awesome, awe-inspiring. You want to keep away from it. But once you tame it, it has become driver of our civilization over the years. So we have to actually learn to not only live with AI, but actually tame it in a way. Many people have compared AI to a tsunami which is coming. Tsunamis, bring images of destruction in our minds. But, we can surf the waves if we know how to surf the waves. We can ride the waves. We can use it for a better future. Now, many of you know that within last year, a big disruptive thing happened in AI. I'm sure all of you probably have heard of ChatGPT, correct? This has really shocked people a lot. And today, I'm also going to discuss ChatGPT and its newer version, GPT-4, and some other tools, which do some amazing things, okay? So I hope all these tools that you can learn to use productively if you have not already used yourself, to make reports for you, to answer questions for you, to create letters for you, to create questions for you, interview questions, interview answers, your statements of purposes, your law notices, legal notices, whatever you can think of, making very interesting, realistic, artistic drawings, paintings, pictures, images, videos, PowerPoint slides. You can put yourself in an avatar of, you can look like a Superman using AI. All kinds of things are opening it. This particular AI, which has caught our eye, is called generative AI. Generative AI is the creative part of AI, where we create something which did not exist before using AI. Early successes of AI were actually in pattern recognition, recognizing letters, optical character recognition, recognizing faces, recognizing speech. But now this generative AI has caught our attention, right? Am I audible to all clearly? Okay, great. So today's workshop, actually this is a workshop, this is not just a seminar or talk. So those of you who have brought your laptops can install some of these software, and we'll have some PhD scholars here help you if you get stuck somewhere. Otherwise, you can follow through and try it on in your spare time, whenever, okay? But remember, the world is changing very fast. Even ChatGPT, if you think you know, you don't know. There is ancient India has many of these scripture books, are very philosophically dense books called Upanishads. There is a Kena Upanishad, which says if you know, then you don't know. And if you don't know, then you know. It sounds very contradictory, right? But it's like if you know, this is such a vast thing that if you think you know, you actually do not know. And if you think you do not know, then you are actually closer to the truth, so you know. So let's start this workshop. I welcome Professor Vishal Gupta has just come, ma'am has also come just now. We are really thankful for people to come here. This change of venue caused a little bit of glitch in our plans, but this is a much more nicer venue than which were the previous one we had. So, so this workshop, as I said, is for non-programmers, okay? We are not going to discuss programming. We don't expect you to know C programming, Python programming, any kind of programming. Later, we will also lay down some ideas about a course which any of you who are interested can take, where you can actually learn programming and do more of deeper and different kind of AI, okay? But today's talk is not about that, today's workshop. Okay, just one slide about artificial intelligence. I can give a long talk on that. What is AI? But AI is intelligence of artificial kind. Machines behaving like intelligent beings. And what kind of beings we think are intelligent on this planet Earth? We think us, right? We are very egotistical. We think only humans are intelligent. Even though modern research shows that many animals show many intelligent kinds of behavior. But our typical definition of intelligence is human intelligence. We are intelligent. And that's how Turing decided to define intelligence, by comparing machines with humans. And this is called Turing test, Alan Turing, which is many people call father of computing or AI even. So machines behaving like humans is artificial intelligence. We have come a long way trying to make machines behave like humans. Earlier attempts failed because we did not understand how to program computers to do human-specific tasks. We could make very good calculators that can calculate big numbers. Sir was mentioning Shakuntala Devi. She was very good in computing numbers, multiplying, dividing, finding roots and all that. But our small calculator does that very well. But simple tasks that were for us, like recognizing a friend's face or recognizing speech of someone, was very hard for computers for a very long time. People realized that we have to make artificial neural networks kinds of things to actually mimic biological neural behavior to a certain extent, to make these artificial neural networks behave like humans in these respects. And in last couple of decades, artificial neural network-based artificial intelligence has succeeded a lot in pattern recognition. We have a very good face recognition, we have very good speech recognition, all those kinds of things. Now is the age of generative AI, as I was telling you. Artificial intelligence dreaming, being creative, being imaginative, creating new worlds, new ideas, completely new things which you have never seen before. And today, most of the tools I'm going to discuss will be creative tools based on AI. And naturally, since ChatGPT has caught attention of so many people, I want to start with ChatGPT, right? How many of you have already used ChatGPT? Can you raise your hands? Quite a few of you, right? That's good. Have you tried GPT-4, any of you? Latest ones? You have, good. At least some people have tried that also. Okay, let's say a simple question I ask, is AI my mountain to climb even if I do not know programming? Sure. Because we are getting to a point where even coding and programming will be done by AI for us. Actually, ChatGPT and many other tools are there, AutoML is there, which will do the programming for you too. Because programming is what? Very simple syntactical structure, very precise thing, right? Computers are good at those kinds of things. Computer used to not to be good about fuzzy things. But now, due to generative AI, they're also getting good at those things, right? But at least in very precise things like computing programming language, they are pretty good. They can actually write codes, pretty good codes, which will run right away. Now, in the coming future, there will be some people who will be programming because someone has to make these ChatGPT kinds of tools also, right? But majority of us will become users of AI. Now, what is ChatGPT? I don't have to code to give ChatGPT instructions to do something for me. It is like a very intelligent assistant that I have, right? It's like Igor in Frankenstein, if you remember that movie, old classic. He's a very good assistant, always loyal, and I just need to give it simple instruction and it comes up with something. I don't have to detail everything in all its glory. Like in a programming language, you have to put every single dot, semicolon, or comma precisely as it's supposed to be. Not here, okay? Now, many generative AI tools are available now. ChatGPT is one of them, very famous one. DALL-E 2, now DALL-E 3 has come, which makes images. I'll show all of these things and how you can run your own, or let your imagination run wild with them. And how you can use in sciences or your research or education work also. And there are many, creating video, creating music, creating slides, creating all kinds of things. So we'll have time to discuss few of these tools. And I have chosen the tools which at least you can use for free online. Many of them have subscriptions. but many of them also have a free part. Some of them are completely free, but most of them have some free part that you can use for a certain amount, and then you have to pay. Okay. So let's start with the elephant in the room, ChatGPT, right? This is a big guy right now. And it is continuing to surprise everyone every day with what kinds of things you can make it do, all right? I implore you to try to use ChatGPT in some creative way and surprise us also. Because we don't actually know how deep this thing goes even now. We don't know how to actually ask right questions. You know, I was talking about Upanishads. Let me mention Kathopanishad also. There is a Nachiketa Yama dialogue. Nachiketa asked these deep questions, young boy to Lord of Death. Yam becomes very happy. He says that, okay, Nachiketa, we should get people who question us like you. This is a dream of a teacher or someone, right? Someone asks us good questions. ChatGPT wants good questions from you. And these questions are called prompts. Prompts are some hint, some idea, some clarity that we give to ChatGPT to follow us, to obey us, and give us what we want. As I told you, these prompts are given not in a programming language, right? Because all of us think computers talking, which language? C, Python, Java, programming languages, right? But not anymore. Computers talk in English, Hindi. These are called natural languages. And natural language processing, NLP, is a big field of research in AI. And ChatGPT is all about NLP. We give our instructions in natural language like English, and we get intelligent responses out of it. Almost human-like responses, and very coherent, very consistent, and almost correct. Not always. Now, Elon Musk was saying, Elon Musk has actually been warning people about AI for a long time. And not only him, even Stephen Hawking, even Bill Gates think AI can become dangerous at some point. Maybe. He says ChatGPT is scary good. We are not far from dangerously strong AI. So, well, let's, as I told you the example of fire and knife, we have to see where we go. It's our wisdom which will see whether we let AI destroy us or let AI make us prosper and flourish. Okay? So humanity's wisdom will be at test. We are anyway an experiment in evolution in this long geological time scale. If we fail that experiment, something new will come up. Maybe silicon-based life form. We are carbon-based life forms, right? But we should hopefully come to the task and not fail. Now, ChatGPT is a conversational AI that uses a large language model to mimic intelligent human-like conversational responses. It's a very good assistant. Actually, when we were younger, I think Professor Alagupta probably remembers that we used to have these, on Linux systems. We type some commands, and we could chat for a while, for a long time. People used to waste time. Many students used to waste time on that. So chatbots have been there for a long time. But ChatGPT is generations ahead of those chatbots. This actually, as Elon Musk was saying, becoming scary good. Okay? We interact with ChatGPT by typing prompts. So this is where, now, you don't need to know programming nowadays to make a good use of ChatGPT. You do not need to draw diagrams. You do not need to know all these technical details. What you need now with ChatGPT in hand or something similar in hand to design good prompts, okay? So nowadays there is something called prompt engineering. People learn how to write prompts, okay? Because if you can write good prompts, you get good responses. And I'll show you some examples where now ChatGPT has become even more circular. I can ask it to design a good prompt for me, which will make it give a better answer. So it's almost funny in a way that it can design some better prompts, which will make it give better answers. A prompt is what? Just any normal English text currently. You can use in future any language, I suppose, such as a question, statement, or phrase. And then we expect from ChatGPT some intelligent response. We can make ChatGPT to clarify those responses, or maybe enhance them, or correct them, or change them based on further prompts that we give. So sometimes people like to give these zooming prompts, like scoping prompts. First you give a large prompt, then zoom into your correct answer. So you can do that with ChatGPT. It's like conversation you're having. You keep on refining the answer you want, giving more and more new refined prompts that you want, okay? So, as I said, the key to using ChatGPT productively is in formulating good prompts. So when you can log in or get an account at openai.com. OpenAI, as the name suggests, is supposed to be open, right? It used to be open. There were some, idealistic people, young people. They started this openai.org, saying that AI should be open to all. And eventually it became openai.com, which is not open to all, right? But it's still open. They are releasing many paid versions of their software also. The ChatGPT, for many people, for many responses, you can get it for free. But if you want to use it for larger number of responses or for the latest model, you have to pay some money. Okay, I'll show you what to do there. So this is the interface, very simple interface. Here you can choose at the top whether you want to run older ChatGPT 3.5, which is trained on the data available till 2021. And you have newer GPT-4, which is trained on data available till January 22, I think. So as newer models come up, they get trained on larger and larger amounts of data which is being generated. But there is not just this difference. GPT-4 actually is much more advanced version than GPT 3.5. Even the GPT 3.5 is very surprising, as we'll see. And GPT 3.5 is free for many. You can get an account and you can try it out, all right? So part of this workshop will be, if you have brought your laptop, you can install. If you have not, and our scholars can help you, run this if you wish, okay? I don't see many laptops, so I will show how it works, okay? So at the bottom, you see this little box, send a message. That's your prompt that's the place where you put your prompt to ChatGPT. That's all. That's where you type whatever you want to type. Your prompt can be a single phrase, 1 line, 10 lines, 20 lines, whatever. Some people can put a whole passage, big passage, and ask ChatGPT to summarize it in 2 lines, 3 lines. ChatGPT will do that for you. Actually, ChatGPT can be a very good tool in research for these kinds of purposes. Some people have also used to write papers, but even short of writing papers, you can get a lot of repetitive kind of work done by ChatGPT for you. Very soon we'll have a workshop where we'll show automated tools for doing research by collecting lots of thousands or tens of thousands of online papers and how to automatically collect data from them and try to create some systematic review or something like that. So very soon we'll have that workshop also. But that's just a teaser. So let's see something. What we can use ChatGPT for, we can generate ideas, we can ask a question, summarize large text, create a letter. Actually, ChatGPT is very good at writing letters. Language ability in humans is a good marker of IQ. We have learned that, correct? What differentiates us from animals in biggest way? Language. Because through language, we formulate complex ideas and our thought and everything is dependent upon that. And many people who are not good in written or oral communication, they do not succeed well in life. This is, I want to emphasize to all the students, please learn to communicate very well, either in writing and orally, both. This is very much important for your future growth, okay? Now, ChatGPT is making some of these things easier for us. Of course, it won't be present on your behalf in an interview. You have to give the answers. But you can practice on it. What kind of questions to answer? What kind of letters to write? How do you write a formal letter? Because I've seen students come up writing a letter to admission, for admission in university, or writing a statement of purpose, which are very poorly formatted, and they will likely get rejected. You can learn from ChatGPT. ChatGPT will write glorious letters for you. Okay, you don't have to copy exactly, but at least you can see how the language works. This is a better way of learning language, English language, I think. Copying is a big problem. In academia, we have learned that many of the questions that we give in exams are becoming pointless nowadays. One, because Google came, and now because ChatGPT has come. But we can think of these tools as helping students learn. You can refine your language much better that way. When we were young, we could not get American English samples. Only some movies used to come in India at that time. So when I went to USA, I could not understand what they were saying, and they could not understand what I was saying. It took me a year for this mutual communication to become better, right? Nowadays, everyone has access to all kinds of audio, video, everything. So listening and seeing how things are pronounced is easier nowadays. I've seen many youngsters learning slang from Hollywood, which is not good. Please don't learn slang, learn good language. Okay, Hollywood, unfortunately, is loaded with bad language. But there are many shows, and ChatGPT is going to make you good in written language. That's one good advantage that students can use it for. You can generate interview answers or questions. I know some teachers who have created, we have to upload questions banks nowadays, right? Yeah. Yes. Just 1 minute. Okay. Sorry for the interruption. They needed the PowerPoint slides for live streaming on YouTube. Okay. You can ask, if you are into cooking, you can ask ChatGPT how to cook a aloo paratha or pizza, and all those kinds of things you can do. It's actually a very nice tool. You have to get into it. You can generate computer code, as I said, and many more things. It's a large language model meant to deal with natural language descriptions. Therefore, it may not be good for solving math or science problems. Okay, suppose you give an equation which has lots of different symbols. It may not answer correctly, okay, right now. Even though if you ask it a typical mathematical theorem, let's say what is residue theorem in complex analysis, it will give the correct answer. It will also give you correct equations, but it may not solve those problems. So that's what you have to be aware of. It also, the older ChatGPT 3.5 was trained till 21, so it cannot give answers after whatever happened in the world after 21, okay? Newer ChatGPT gets around it, because previous ChatGPT did not allow access to web, but newer one does that. So it has enhanced power. I have given here one statement of purpose, because I know many students have come to me for asking for recommendations, and they write some letter or statement of purpose, and actually I have to tell them to heavily edit it, or myself have to help them to edit it. So I'll show you. This is the prompt I gave it. Write a statement of purpose as part of an application to Harvard University for the purpose of getting admission into master's program in medical imaging. Assume that the applicant is a 23-year-old male and is interested in an academic career in the future and has extracurricular active hobbies like adventure sports and photography. You can write whatever. You can write big paragraph describing yourself. And this chat GPT will create a wonderful letter on your behalf. Just read some of the lines here. Dear members of the admissions committee, I'm writing to express my strong interest in the master's program in medical imaging at Harvard University, and I'm thrilled to submit my application for the year whatever intake. Harvard's renowned reputation for academic excellence and innovative research aligns perfectly well with my aspirations for a career in medical imaging. As you go through, it's written very coherently, and it incorporates all your things that you have given in your prompt about yourself nicely into the letter, and creates a very nice letter. It continues, okay? And it is, all this is generated in few seconds. It's amazing. It doesn't take much time. So I'll just, I don't need to read anymore, right? But I, right. Actually, ChatGPT tends to be quite generic about these things. But it depends on, this is where the prompt engineering comes in. If you ask it to focus on Harvard University attributes, it will try to. Please try it on. It's all about your prompt, how you design the prompt, or how you refine it. After it has come up with this answer, you can ask it to refine this response by giving a further leading prompt to it. So you can actually keep on getting a better refined letter just by giving a few more prompts. Now, ChatGPT can respond in any language. Right now we can type only in English our questions, but I asked it to write a Sanskrit poem, and to my surprise it did. I said, write a Sanskrit poem about love. And it has written, Snigdhang manogyang survi kusmaya yuktang premanurupam ta varnitang adetat, and continuing like that. It's wonderful, actually. I saw it is grammatically correct, metrically correct, meaning-wise also correct. It's not, it's quite amazing. It knows Sanskrit. It's strange, right? Then write a brief speech on India's Independence Day in Hindi. Okay? सभी देशवासियों को नमस्कार। आज हम सभी एक खास मौके पर इकट्ठे हुए हैं भारत के स्वतंत्रता दिवस के इस महान अवसर पर। यह दिन हमारे देश के इतिहास में एक महत्वपूर्ण और गर्वशील पल का प्रतीक है। I mean, it's like an experienced politician giving the speech, right? You can ask it to write a poem on Independence Day. It will write happily for you in Hindi with all the correct meter and everything. Ruqayya madam told me it writes good Urdu poetry too. So I've included one here. I don't know what it means. But write a ghazal in Urdu about difficulties in a student's life. Okay? So ChatGPT has written something. Maybe ma'am can read it for us. Ma'am, please. I just want you to be impressed by it.
The ghazal is जिंदगी की राहों में पिछड़े हैं सब, जिंदगी की राहों में पिछड़े हैं सब, पढ़ाई की छाँव में खोए हैं सब, पढ़ाई की छाँव में खोए हैं सब, किताबों की लड़ाइयों में हारे हैं सब, किताबों की लड़ाइयों में हारे हैं सब. And sir, is it I think 3 lines are there.
There are many more lines.
Many more lines. Okay, so how we can
I have only created. Hold on.
first line is
Hold on, ma'am. Just a moment. Since ma'am is here, let's use her expertise for a live example. Ma'am, go ahead. Ask it to write something on. Read first.
So these are the inspirational quotes. ज़िंदगी की सबसे बड़ी खुशी खुद को पहचानने में है, the first one. And the second is कामयाबी वो लम्हे हैं जब आप हारने के बावजूद फिर से कोशिश करते हैं. The third one is ज़िंदगी की हर मुश्किल एक नई मौका है. Fourth is ख्वाब देखना बड़ी बात है, मगर ख्वाबों को हकीकत बनाना और पूरा करना वही वाकई शानदारी होती है. ये थोड़ा सा a little bit मतलब शानदारी है. आपकी ज़िंदगी का आगाज़ आपकी तस्मीमों से होता है, तो अपने इरादों को मजबूत बनाएं. ओके, इट्स गुड. थैंक यू सर.
Actually, I was surprised that it can actually write these things in Sanskrit, Urdu, and other languages, because text on the internet, the amount of text on the internet, for English you have very large amount of text available. So I can understand if ChatGPT is very good in English, but it's actually getting, as to borrow a phrase from Elon Musk, scary good about all other languages too, right? So let's get back to our. This is 3.5, yes, sir. And I was expecting Sally Lucos ma'am to be here, so there was something in Malayalam also, but she is not here. So maybe, as I told you, it can write in many different languages, and I don't know them how to read. So I cannot tell you what it has written, but I hope it is correct. Or correct enough. As Madam was saying, there were some errors of grammar in Urdu, but that's expected because corpus of these languages is not that much on the internet. Now, this is ChatGPT 3.5. Very useful, very nice. You can play with it. New version of ChatGPT is called GPT-4 or ChatGPT Plus. And this one is not free at the moment. It takes about $20 per month. And if someone is going to use it in their work for a lot, then it's justifiable. For example, all these news writers, their job is being taken over by ChatGPT nowadays. Because many of these news agencies you might have heard of, Reuters or Associated Press, PTI or some other news organizations, they collect this news and send to all the news agencies. And these news writers there reformulate them with certain words, certain enhancements to fit in certain spaces in their newspapers or other places, right? Now ChatGPT can do all that. And it's much less expensive. And it can work 24 hours a day. So you can see some jobs are going to be taken over by this creative AI. And I'm going to show you some examples that how many of you are artists, painters, drawing? Okay, sir. All right. ChatGPT is going to make your life also difficult if you are professional artists. I'll show you some examples, okay? The new drawing capabilities are amazing. We just need to describe through prompts what we want, and it creates something magnificent. So this is about the non-free part of GPT-4, which comes with a drawing package called Dolly 3, which is also OpenAI.com's product. It is not available for free on ChatGPT at the moment, but Microsoft, Microsoft is very intelligent. It has bought 50% of OpenAI. And on Bing Chat, Microsoft's Bing Chat, it has released Dolly 3 for free right now. So I'll show you can run Dolly 3 on Bing Chat, Microsoft, with a Microsoft account. Everyone has a Microsoft account, right? If you have a computer, Microsoft computer, you have an account. So you can run those things and see, and be prepared to be amazed. I'll show you some examples of that. So before that, I'll just show you what kind of prompts you can ask, for example. This is for diagram making. I'll come to diagram making in a moment. Let me come for art. This is Microsoft Bing Chat, which has now double L-E, sorry, there is a spelling error here, D-A-L-L-E. Okay, DALL-E 3. DALL-E 2 was pretty good. You could give it some prompts and it generates images. So what prompt I gave it? An ancient Indian temple on shores of South India with several ships on the sea and palm leaves. Palm trees, rather. It looks pretty good, right? It looks like an oil paint you can buy and put on your wall, correct? And it didn't generate just one. It is buy one, get two free in DALL-E 3. It generates three pictures for you. So these are the other two pictures it gave me. With the same simple looking prompt, right? So it has a South Indian temple, it has palm trees, it has the ships on the shores of a sea. And look at the lighting, very intelligent lighting. Light source seems to be coming from this side. It falls on these sails, this correct angle on these steps on the correct angle. And here also you can see on these sails, light source is falling correctly. Even normal artists make these kinds of errors, right? Sometimes the shading is wrong, shadow, all these kinds of things. Normal artists can make mistakes. But here, see how the light is falling on this temple. Even look at these little people here and look at their shadows. If I zoom in here, even shadows are correct. So this is actually scary good, right? In some ways. And all this is done in few seconds. And every time you give the prompt, same prompt if you repeat, it will generate 3 new images. And it is a guarantee that these 3 new images are nowhere to be found in the world before they were generated. And not only that, since they are generated by you, using your prompts, you own them. You can sell them. AI art is nowadays a big business. Okay. All right. DALL-E 3. And not only oil painting or normal painting, you can create photorealistic, you can create comic style, you can ask it to make paintings in Van Gogh style, Monet style, or some other style, even Salvador Dali style, or Picasso style. It will make those paintings. You can ask it to make a sketch. All kinds of things it can do for you. We just have to give correct prompts. More detailed, more clear the prompts, it will follow your ideas very nicely. For example, I gave it a very simple prompt, and I'll show you the new prompt enhancement that ChatGPT has introduced. The prompt I gave is a very simple one. Create an image based on Macbeth Act 1, Scene 1. Those of you who have read Macbeth remember these 3 witches in the beginning. And this basically whole drama is a tragedy anyway. It starts with a scary scene. Macbeth meets the 3 witches. Now, images have some similarity, but they have some differences also. So how does the DALL-E 3 generate them? What it does, it takes this prompt that I have given and actually refines it. And the actual prompts that were used by DALL-E 3 here, I'll show you next page. Somewhere I've lost it. Yeah, here. Automatic prompt refinement. I had asked it to draw Act 1, Scene 1 for Macbeth, right? And this is what it has done for this particular painting. On a barren heath, 3 witches, each distinct in appearance and attire, gather together. The environment is turbulent with dark clouds, lightning strikes, and roaring thunder. The witches, with their cryptic expressions, seem to be chanting incantations, setting the tone for the play's tragic events. So it automatically generated this prompt. And based on that, it has created this image. Next one, a different set of prompts. So now we can use ChatGPT to create better prompts by giving, I give it something, and it can generate even something more refined. So this is another prompt. And here The vector depiction is the vector image. Vector images are those images that we can create in a drawing program like CorelDRAW or something. And raster images are those images which are made of pixels, JPEGs and PNGs. So vector depiction of the first scene from Macbeth. Set on a desolate moor under a tempestuous sky, 3 witches with distinct appearances stand prominently. The tattered robes sway with the wind and their expressions are enigmatic and unsettling. Surrounding them, the elements rage with lightning bolts and thunderclaps, emphasizing the supernatural nature of the scene. So this is the prompt that ChatGPT used. So you can see, now you get an idea, right? Suppose you're writing a book. I'm sure there are many creative people here, authors, right? How many of you write your own stories, poems, or something? Any poets and writers here? No? Surprising. I'm sure someone writes poems or stories. Okay, so is there. All right. So suppose you write, I know some books that our faculty members have published where they have used their own story or own text and then use these kinds of tools to generate images for those books. You can take a passage from your own book and put it here, and it will generate an appropriate image for your book. You don't have to pay an artist anymore. Sorry, artist's job, as I told you, sir, is getting taken over by AI nowadays. Even writers. Actually, creativity is still in our domain in the sense that we can design good prompts. But there also ChatGPT is, getting in. It's trying to design better prompts than us sometimes. But still, we are still on the top right now. And in many of these areas, people are taking courses called prompt engineering. Because nowadays you can get jobs if you are a good prompt engineer. Okay. You can use ChatGPT productively by just writing good prompts for certain purposes, for business. Not only for art or creative things, but for business also. And see how smart this is. My prompt was, create an image from Kalidasa's drama Shakuntala when Shakuntala came to see King Dushyanta in his court. We have read this story in our childhood, right? I didn't tell ChatGPT, okay, make Shakuntala wear Indian clothes or Indian jewelry or Dushyant look like an Indian king or the court. But it automatically decided. It's highly context aware. That's where the intelligence shows up, right? It surprises you in many ways. I don't have to give full description. If I had to generate this image using a programming language, I can imagine a 100-line program or more, okay? And that to be very precise. Actual prompt I gave here was create an image of ancient Indian hermitage filled with huts and trees with a rishi teaching his students under a banyan tree with cows grazing in the background and smoke from Vedic fire sacrifice rising in the air. It created 3 images, as I told you, and it refined it like this. For each image, it has a separate prompt that it generates. Oil painting of a scene, ancient Indian hermitage scene.
But it does not draw banyan tree correctly.
Yes, sir?
It does not draw banyan tree correctly.
Right. Actually, there's some source coming down here. You can see. In other one, there were more thicker ones. But here, there is something it has tried. Leaves are not correct. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Actually, that's artist eye. Yes, sir. Actually, we can make it refine, because if you think something is wrong, we can ask it to refine. It doesn't always correct right now, but many a time it will correct, and it will make it a refined picture for you. As we know, this is not the final word in AI right now. Right now, it's getting scary good, but it can become quite scary also very soon. It will become good. It's just the beginning, right?
Even in ancient India, the cows are undernourished.
That's because that's a very good point, sir. Because I can imagine cows there being very well fed because a lot of grass to graze in these Sullivan or green surroundings. But I think ChatGPT learned from web, where most of the web contains this idea that India is poor. Right? India has been poor only for last couple of 100 years. In last 2000 years, Indian economy was on the top for 15 to 1700 years. This research was done by Oxford University professor, published. And you can see that take all of Europe's economy, take all of India's economy, take all of China's economy, from 180 to 1500, India was almost on the top all the time, next to China. And then below it, all of Europe combined. And from 1700 onwards, it took a nosedive. And then again, it's rising up. So India has been the richest country in the world in many ways for the last 2000 years. We have been fed this wrong idea that India has been poor all the time. Right? We have been poor only for the last 200 years, not more than that. So, right, sir, because of that idea, probably ChatGPT made this mistake and made the cows underfed. Well, I said generate an image of alien ships attacking New Delhi. Valiant Indian supermen along with Indian Army and Air Force are offering a strong resistance. And I said Superman, so it made it a Superman, right? This guy. Then I said refine it, regenerate and give the Superman Indian clothing. So now this guy has Indian clothing, right? You can see it has tried to make, right. And you can see Qutub Minar here, you can see maybe Rashtrapati Bhavan here, and some other things that you associate with New Delhi. As I said, you own the AI-generated art, right? According to OpenAI, you own all the images you create with Dolly, meaning you have the right to reprint, sell, and merchandise images. AI-generated art can be sold just like any other artwork. In fact, there is a growing market for AI art, with some pieces selling for significant amounts of money. So let's come back to there is a plugin with GPT-4 that is used to draw diagrams for us. In our work, whether it's scientific work or business work, we draw lots of diagrams. We can draw, Gantt charts when we are applying for projects, or flow charts, or mindscapes, all kinds of things we can ask ChatGPT to draw for us. There are specialized programs we can use right now, but this has made life a little bit easier. It's not the most perfect tool as of now, but I'll give you a couple of examples. For example, draw me a mind map of beer brewing, or for example, radiology. I have quite a few radiologists here. So you can do that. It will create a diagram for you. For example, if you want to have a DTI protocol, it will do that for you. For simple cases, you can ask it to draw a human digestive system. It will draw it for you. And it will be a new art. You can use it in your work without worrying about copyright or any kind of violations. I'll show you just a couple of examples. Diagram Maker plugin. So I asked it to draw a mind map of gut-brain microbiota axis. Our minds and guts are connected, right? We all have gut feelings. I used to know this fact before scientists discovered it. I think most of us did. Right? But in the last few decades, it has been actually scientifically validated that our guts and our brains are highly connected. They influence each other. And microbiota, all these microorganisms, bacteria, also affect our mental state through our gut, because they live in our guts, right? So there is a big complex gut-brain axis in work. So just this simple prompt, I didn't refine the prompt in any way, and it has created this mind map for me with different classifications. We can refine them. Actually, ChatGPT lets you refine these branches, or you can create other branches, sub-branches like that, but at least create something for you. Based on that, you can create a new diagram or more refined diagram. Okay, Gantt charts. As I said, Dr. Hemant was writing these projects when you have to write these Gantt charts all the time, right? And which is not very painless. It's quite, we don't like to do that very often because there are no free, easy programs to draw Gantt charts. You have to pay some money for that. Here you can describe a project and it can create these Gantt charts. I gave a very simple description here. Create a Gantt chart for a 3 research and development project with quarterly milestones for creating a thermoelectric device for cooling. It's not correct as I want it. But the point is when it generates these things, there I can see how it has generated them. I can add my things very easily, edit them, I'll show it. And then it can regenerate the graphs as we want. So this generation of these diagrams becomes a little bit easier for us to do. Okay, how much time we have? So let me tell you about this little thing. ChatGPT 3 could not access the web. It was deliberately decided that, well, ChatGPT 3 was trained on pre-existing data. It's a trained model. It has been trained on all the data until 2021, and it has been released as a trained model. It does not interact with new data, in the sense it does not learn anything new. OpenAI will make a new model by training it on newer data, and then it can release it, like in ChatGPT 4. But GPT-4, they have allowed connection with the web. So earlier, we could not ask a question from ChatGPT, like, what is the temperature of New Delhi today? Because it doesn't know today, right? It knows a year or two old things. But GPT-4 can do that now. So GPT-4 is actually quite a big enhancement on GPT 3.5. For example, I asked, what is today's predicted maximum temperature in New Delhi? It says, I apologize for any inconvenience, but I do not have access to real-time or future data. You can actually joke with ChatGPT too. ChatGPT is quite funny sometimes, actually. You can ask it to role play. All kinds of things you can try. I'll show maybe once we have start the workshop part, actual hands-on kind of things. In GPT-4, I asked, what is the temperature in New Delhi right now? Then it has given me in Fahrenheit. Because it can now go to the web, get the information, and answer. So now it not only has its old learned behavior that it was what it was trained upon, but now it can also gather data from the web. It is getting multifarious. Okay. And a lot of people use it in business. I think I should break it for a few minutes, right, sir?
Sir, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
So ChatGPT can now access net.
Yes, sir.
So web is full of, incorrect information.
Yes, sir.
So how does this particular interface will know the information is extracting from the web is correct or incorrect?
Even the current GPT 3.5 was also trained on data which was widely available on the net. So many of the biases or inaccuracies on those things enter into these large language models.
There's some intelligence of human beings was used in pre-feeding the data.
Yes, sir.
So you know who Akbar was, you know who Aurangzeb was, somebody who
Yes, sir.
where half the information are kind of WhatsApp gyan, that kind of information is also available on the web. So it was just pick up.
Yes, sir. That's a big danger. Actually, we cannot be certain about anything that ChatGPT says. It is surprising that it is quite accurate many a time. But surprisingly, sometimes, not surprisingly, it's also sometimes very wrong. So when we are writing, especially when we are writing scientific papers, we cannot trust ChatGPT.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
This is a question lingering in my mind that we are all in today's world, every scientific field, everyone has to write papers, present papers, send an abstract to a conference. Now, if my colleague or junior or senior, somebody is using ChatGPT to write the paper, so according to me, it is a kind of plagiarism. It is not your individual thought. So if you have a tool by which a reviewer or a journal editor can detect that this is not written by a human, intelligence, but by an artificial intelligence. So far, I work with many international journals also as a reviewer in radiology. The only way of finding out this, we don't have any tools. I work with European Radiology, British Journal of Radiology, Indian Journal of Radiology, all these are PubMed index journals. The only question that is asked to the author and co-authors, did you use AI, large language model? That is called large language model.
Yes, ma'am.
Everybody will say no, but there should be a way of finding out. Because if we are comparing two papers, somebody has written with human thought and somebody has written with AI. How are they both comparable?
Yes, ma'am. That,
So this is
actually, that's being worked upon, and there are some solutions available. Yeah.
we should have, emergent solutions. That's what I mean. Because this is a genuine plagiarism issue.
Yes,
It
ma'am.
is a burning issue. And there is a journal called Curious Journal of Medical Sciences. And they have made something called a wall of shame. And they have found out few papers written with large language model and published the names of those.
Okay.
No, but I think there should be an online tool for detection of whether this was written by human intelligence or by artificial intelligence. Because otherwise, like you can construct any statistical data without having the data.
Right, ma'am.
So I think it's a very dangerous tool.
Actually, it is. Actually, it is.
How
And
are we going to curb all the misuse?
there,
How are we going to curb the misuse?
for example, ma'am, this question also came up with deep fakes. Many people can, you might have seen videos of, for example, Barack Obama giving a speech, which he never did. And it seems very realistic, very convincing. So many such deep fake audios, videos, images are floating around. So there were some initiatives. Intel, for example, started programmed how to detect deep fakes. Similarly, for plagiarism, yes, ma'am. Turnitin, for example, that we try to use for plagiarism check, nowadays is giving its opinion that maybe 30% of this article might have been generated using a AI tool. But then it also gives a disclaimer that this has to be confirmed and verified. So it doesn't, right now it's just in a research phase. They are giving these things out nowadays on Turnitin, but with a disclaimer that it has to be checked. They are not sure that it is giving all the time correct assessment or not. But these tools are coming up, ma'am.
So we should have something like a watermark or something if some paper is written by AI.
Yes, ma'am. Turnitin, for example, right now will do that. Like it's a 30-40%, but then it will come with a disclaimer. So maybe journals cannot use that directly right now, legally speaking, because if they are accusing someone of plagiarism, legally they have to be very sound about it. And
Have any guidelines as yet for detecting how somebody is using ChatGPT for writing a paper, or whether they are not, whether it's ethical or not? To my mind, it's not ethical.
actually, ma'am, I think, the world is, this is my opinion. I mean, of course, this is a very heated debate that can be. In my opinion, the time has come where many of these things, creative activities, I was discussing, sir, also, that we take for granted as humans, we have to think that machines can do it as good or maybe even better. So we have to move away from that. in a way that we can use ChatGPT or such AI tools to be our assistants in writing a good research paper, but not to write the whole research paper. That,
Generate statistical charts. How are we going to find out whether this is genuine or not?
yes, ma'am.
Data, which is dangerous to humanity.
Yes, ma'am. All these dangers are there. But scientific method, I think, will come to our rescue. The scientific method is based on openness and verification from many, many separate scientific teams have to, this principle of falsifiability criterion. This British philosopher of science, Karl Popper, came up with this idea that a scientific theory, a lot of you are scientists, right? So all of you think we are scientists. But unfortunately, in our curriculum, we never learn scientific method, right? Philosophers of science learn these things. Scientists don't learn this. There is one important principle called principle of falsifiability in science. It was developed by Sir Karl Popper in England. He said that a scientific statement should be falsifiable. Of course, it's useless if it is false, but it has to be falsifiable. That means there should be a feasible experiment that can be done where it can possibly be proven false. Pseudosciences are those where they shield themselves. A typical pseudoscience shields itself so much that it can never prove it wrong. Many people believe in astrology, many people think it's pseudoscience. Let's assume it's pseudoscience. So, what happens? Someone says, oh, Saturn is looking here, यहाँ पे दृष्टि पड़ रही है, ये हो रहा है. You tell, no, it's not happening with me. Oh, no, but Mangal yahan se dekh raha hai. There is always a additional thing that astrologer can find out and explain it away. Pseudosciences typically can explain things, but cannot predict things. Ptolemy's system of geocentric system of planets, and where Mars retrograde motion was explained by cycles over cycles kind of idea, was like that. Any kind of complicated orbit of planets could be explained by putting more cycles upon cycles. So it could explain any complicated orbit that we see from Earth. But it could not predict. We know that Mars sometimes seems to go like this in the sky, in the background stars, and then stars go backward, retrograde, and then comes back. You can explain it using the cycles idea, but I cannot predict which planet will do it. But heliocentric model with Newton's gravitation could predict all these things. So predictive power separates science. And prediction is based on being honest to be wrong, possibly wrong. If I make a statement, sun rises in the east, it is a scientific statement because it's verifiable. In the sense, it's falsifiable. In the morning, I face the east and look, if sun does not rise, I've been proven false. Very feasible experiment to do, right? So this is honest scientific statement, which is falsifiable. Pseudosciences shield themselves. They cannot be proven false. They create these structures that you cannot prove them wrong, but it's like, typical idea is this: if you cannot prove me wrong, I'm right, which is not logically correct. Okay. I know rationalist movement in India or some other, says God doesn't exist. Why? Because science has not proven God exists, right? So God doesn't exist. But has a science proven God doesn't exist? Because you can revert to logic and say, since science there's no paper that exists which says that God does not exist, therefore God exists. So you have to have the logical approach about these things. Just because you cannot prove me wrong doesn't make you right. Or no. So scientific method is honest, open method, which can be verified all the time, and we trust in that. That even if someone comes up with this falsified data or created, fabricated data, they will be caught. Some other lab will catch them, and they will be brought to book. Right?
There are few journals which are, जिनके साथ मैं काम कर रही हूँ, the international journals, I mean British Journal of Radiology, Cancer Imaging, and even European radiology. In some papers which have been submitted, the reviewers and editors have asked the authors to submit the original master charts for verifying the content. So this is also happening. There are methods, but I'm only talking about the language. So if you have falsified a language and you use, I mean, not used your own brain, you've used the chat GPT, you can write a manuscript. But then there is a possibility, like you said, you can make statistical charts also. So maybe for that reason, now this fashion has also come in that the authors are being asked to submit all the material of the original data sheets based on which the paper has been constructed.
Exactly.
And that is also being published with a link as a supplementary material.
Right, ma'am. And there are some, in some cases, they allow you to publish a separate data paper. That you have a main paper and a separate data paper is published. You can, data is encouraged to be shared so that others can verify the results.
We are verifying the master chart. जिसके ऊपर आपने अपना paper publish.
Yes, ma'am. I think eventually scientific method will win over, given even maybe some fluctuations here and there. Yes, sir.
I have a question about Dolly 3.
Yes, sir.
Suppose I give a prompt to Dolly 3 and get a set of 3 images. What I found interesting was you said that I have a copyright on those images.
Yes, sir.
So if somebody else happens to type in the same prompt, you will not get the same images?
No, sir. Even you type the same prompt again, it will be different image. You know, there is a Greek philosopher, Zeno, right? Some people use it in calculus. He used to say, I think it was Zeno, if I'm not right. He used to say that you can jump in a river only once, right? Because if you jump, after that river changes, you change. So it's not the same river, you're not the same you, so you can't jump again. And some of his pupils, I think, said or someone, that you can not even jump in a river even once, because by the time you go to jump, river has changed and everything. So every time Chat GPT will come with something new. Yes, sir. I'll show it to you, sir. Just on the fly, you can have a look. Just for, you want to try images or text? Image, sir. Okay. What kind of image do you want to be drawn, sir? Your imagination, sir.
Couple walking in the rain.
Could you repeat it?
Couple walking in the rain.
Create a romantic painting of a couple walking in the rain. You want any particular style, sir? Van Gogh, Picasso, or Monet? Okay, sir. Actually, sometimes it doesn't like to, if you want to ask it to create image based on some living people, it will not do that. It tries to avoid that. So let's try Sharda University. Let's see what it does, sir. It's taking a little longer, but just thinking. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. That's always true. We have to verify. As I said, scientific articles are not, we have to, we are the experts as of yet. AI is not in scientific matters. Oh, maybe network. Network is there, right? Yeah. Yeah, it's there. Oh, it has created, you said. Well, Sharda University, it could not find Sharda University. Well, this is not an Indian setting, but yeah, you didn't say it can't be an non-Indian setting. Yes, yes, ma'am. Yes, sir, will do. You can remember these 4 images, right, sir? Let's retype this. I have changed nothing here, as the same prompt. Yes. Yeah. But remember, see, when you say Malayali, it somehow picked up that it must be an Indian, and so it's actually quite smart that way. It didn't give Indian setting in one of the paintings, so still thinking a little bit more. Maybe it doesn't have enough information that it could gather because this is based on its training. So during its training, as much data so it has generated. Sir, is a new one, right? Every time you do the same prompt, it will generate something new. I can zoom in if you want. There's no zooming in. Yeah, here, Middle Eastern descent, right? Okay, so it's not, we can refine it, we can ask it to correct it. Right. Or North India or South India, something like that if we do. But the point was that every time you give this, even if you give the same prompt, if some other person gives the same prompt, he will generate new images. And never they will be the same. This is a generative AI. And that's why you can own them. Because in a sense, you are the creator, right? Right. Let's look at this another software which is called Imagine.art. I think Rajat is here. He showed me this one. It's also pretty good. I'll show you a couple of images that Rajat made, which were so Rajat is doing PhD, as Navita is doing PhD, Abhinav is doing, Sanju is doing, Makaju is doing PhD in AI. So he's working on, they are working on artificial neural networks. So the prompt was very simple, artificial neural network, okay, just a phrase. And it came up with this image. It's kind of a neuron, but you can see that some parts don't look real, right? So okay, fine. Next he said this one, because he's also working on molecular dynamic simulations. So yeah, you can see some molecules kinds of things, coming out here. Then he combined them, neural networks plus molecular dynamic simulations. And you see this very nice image has been generated. It's quite actually artistic image. So, as I was telling sir that jobs of artists are people, you can pay a designer, illustrator, quite a bit of money for designing this kind of diagrams, pictures for you, if you have to. And here, just one line of prompt, and there it is.
Animation is also included? Like, this is only the pictures, so animation we can also
There are tools which let you animate or make videos also. There are tools which will let you make whole slides based on a prompt. There is if you want to create a PowerPoint presentation very quickly on some topic, 20 slides, it will generate them for you. So I'll show it to you very. I think Abhinav, where is Abhinav? Okay, there it is. This was the site. Abhinav is trying it. Slides go. Actually, it's free to some extent, yeah. Many of them are like that. Some of them are free, but most of them, to some extent they are free. But if you want to go, if you want to use it much more, then you have to pay. For example, I'll be using the free part right now. So let's try this out. Slides go. So I go to this site. You can always create a free account here. You have to just verify your email as usual. So let's what kind of presentation do you want to be made? Let's say you have to give a quick talk somewhere and you know your topic. You don't have time to make your PowerPoints. Okay. How many slides do you want, sir? And here, writing, tone, unspecified, fun, creative, casual, professional, formal. What do you prefer, sir?
I think creative.
Language, English. Number of slides, 20. Oh, I need to log in. I should have logged in earlier. So it's generating 20 slides. This won't be the best slides that you might see, but they are quite a time saver if you're in a hurry, right? And of course, these can be refined, as it says, during the generation of AI presentation, ensure text and image accuracy. And later we can refine those too. There are tools here. Since it is generating 20 slides, it is taking a little bit of time. So let's start the presentation, sir. From idea to empire, unleashing your inner entrepreneurial spirit. Welcome to the world of, okay, so let me go on. And there is a piggy bank here for securing funding. So it's not. It's quite good, actually. Yeah.
I would not say brilliant, but it's very good.
Right.
Time it has taken and the kind of content it's created. If you have things in your brain, it's a very good presentation. You can speak for hours.
That's right, sir. And especially if you're in a bind, and if you give the more detailed prompts, you can get the slides to your exact, or almost not exact, but quite close to what you expect. So it can be a time saver like that.
Logical and in the correct direction.
Yes, sir. I was also reading the headings, and I was also getting impressed. It was doing quite a good job. So, any questions from the audience? Any suggestions? Any comments? Any other explorations you have done in AI which you like to share? Yes, ma'am. This one is free. Yes. Yes, ma'am. Actually, I took ChatGPT's output and ran it through Turnitin, and I found 2% plagiarism. I mean similarity. And every time it will generate something which is like that.
It's your own cocktail. No one can catch you. It's your own cocktail. Each time it's a new cocktail.
There is a software it works on identifying three consecutive words. If they are the same from any text, three consecutive words. So if three words are not the same consecutive words, then it will not pick up.
Actually, like Turnitin kind of software, for example, they give different weightage to different kinds of matchings. If you have whole passage matching, that gets a huge weightage. So that is flagged as a large plagiarism. If only a word or two are matched, they discount it. So you can actually even give a setting there that if match happens for only a few words, then you can neglect it. But generally, larger the match, more weightage it gets. Passages get much more weighting. Full sentences, if they are similar, they get next weighting. Phrases, then individual words, a couple of words together. Okay, any sharings, any comments, questions? I think, yes. Can you introduce yourself too?
My name is Darius and Patmo. I'm from the Department of Medical Imaging Technology, EMIT. I'm from Liberia. My question is just something that will invite your counsel on guiding the new breed of generation that are exposed to this fast working tool, right? In terms of work efficiency. I want to know what advice will you give to us, right, the new breed of generation that are exposed to this tool, so that we cannot solely rely on the use of AI, but then make use of our own human intelligence within our working environment as well.
Could you repeat your name, please?
My name is Darius.
Darius. Okay, Darius, wonderful question. Let's see. Now, do you use a car or a vehicle? You use a car, right? A vehicle to drive around?
Yes.
Right? But our forefathers did not use to use it, right? They used to rely on their legs and their feet and their strength and their stamina and all that. Why do we use cars? We are lazy? See, what is happening is AI has come. It will be there. We cannot close our eyes to it. So you have to find good use for it. We don't have to become slaves to it, but we can make it a good assistant for us. It can ease our burden in a way that many kinds of tedious things, repetitive things, useless things that we have to do, it can do it for us. And we can focus our attention or our energies on more important things. So this AI is giving you this opportunity to be a higher level player. You don't have to work on the ground level. You can work at the higher level, and AI will do the ground level stuff for you. Okay, like car will take you around. You don't have to now walk or run, right? Any other questions, comments? Anyone wants to share what they think of AI? Is it a big demon or what it is? Or something friendly? Yes, sir.
So to my mind, this could be very useful for new drug developments.
Yes, sir.
Computer models, they make models and try to fit in the lock and key mechanisms for different drugs. So this could be very useful.
Actually, sir, people are trying to use these things, yes. Because scientific discovery, we think that we discover things, right? That is, things are already there, we are just discovering them. But many a time, it seems that it's action of creation also. For example, when Einstein came up with his general theory of relativity, there was no need for it, frankly speaking. It was all a creation of his mind. He just had to fix one little theoretical issue with special relativity, and he came up with this crazy thing that space-time must be curved, space-time is dynamic, matter curves the space-time, and so many things after that came, universal expansion, all kinds of ideas. So creativity is there in science, because we cannot say we are just discovering what exists out there. Many times our creativity leads us to the correct path, because there may be too many paths, right, sir? So we cannot wait to explore all possible paths. We have to be more efficient about it. And that's where our creativity comes into, sir.
Maybe it's going to give us more number of ways to think and perhaps make our choice wider and then use human intelligence to pick up the best fitting model.
Right, sir. Yeah, exactly. This higher level approach, that we become now the directors rather than the field workers in a way. Only catch might be that maybe,
There's a very simple thing I would like to mention, sir. We use Google Maps.
yes, sir.
Each time Google Map will take us on a ride, sometimes on this road, sometimes on that road, sometimes you say it's a good ride you had, sometimes you say the ride was horrible, but you reach your destination. So that kind of a thing is that artificial intelligence is a good friend, but a very, very worthy foe in case you are not intelligent enough to pick up the right word.
Yes, sir. Actually, right now the AI that is called specific. We have not come to general AI. AI is right now good in a certain thing, like ChatGPT can generate text. Our AI models in radiology can detect some disease accurately. But general AI will be something which will be good in general, like us, in many, many things. And that is where big challenge to humanity will be there, sir. It will be a real one. Whether are we making our own replacements?
Yes, would you like us to own an AI-driven car, or AI-driven taxi, or AI-driven aeroplane? Those would be the tough questions.
Because then they will, there was a movie long time ago, Space Odyssey 2001, right, sir? There was this computer HAL there. And HAL's mission was to keep the mission safe and on its target at all costs. So at some point, it decided that commander was not, was dispensable for the mission's sake. So he actually, if you remember that movie, I'm not sure how many of you have seen that movie. You have seen it? Oh, okay. So AI can do that, sir. So the danger is there because problem is this, that there's data is being generated at such a high speed nowadays. And on the internet traffic, for example, humanly we cannot track anything. Things are happening in many cases at such a high speed that we cannot, as humans, track them. So we have to rely on these AI systems at some level. And that's where there is this risk. If they start to decide themselves, are they always going to decide according to what we think is good for us or not? Yes. Right now, as I said, Intel had started one program to detect deep fake images. So I won't call these AI generated images as deep fake, but in the sense, both are AI generated images. So right now, I'm not sure whether any software exists which can tell the difference between images, but I'm sure people are working on it. So. If no questions are there, I'll just take a couple of minutes more of your time. Is that okay? We still have about 10 minutes left. So it has been a long session. I was planning to take a little break in the middle. Okay. Thank you, thank you, everyone. I just want to introduce one training course that we'll be launching very soon. As I said, we'll be having this kind of workshop also for creating scientific papers using automatic search and download of PDFs from the internet, tens of thousands, for creating bigger size reviews. So that might be very useful for many academicians. But we are also launching regular AI training courses. Those of you who want to do programming and want to go deeper into it, we have two courses, one on Python programming and one on machine learning, which will be launching soon. So I'll just run a couple of slides on that quickly, not take much of your time anymore. So our goal is AI training for everyone, right? Even this workshop was like that. We can become users. In larger sense, we are getting there, that we become high-level users. But some people also have to create the system, right? Some people have to code ChatGPT also. So for those who want to go deeper into AI, you have to learn some coding at the moment. Maybe ChatGPT is already getting good at coding, but at some level you have to know these things if you want to go deeper into it, of course. So in all disciplines, AI is intelligence, right? Of artificial kind. Our intelligence, human intelligence, can be applied in every single field you can think of religion, philosophy, humanities, arts, sciences, engineering, whatever. Same AI. AI is applicable everywhere. And how do you climb this AI mountain? First, you learn to use the tools and make make your life easy. This was the workshop that we had. And if you want to go deeper, you don't have to. But if you do, then you can learn a programming language. Python is the most popular language for programming in AI. So we are offering very soon this online course on Python. And this won't be free course. This will be a paid course. And simultaneously, we'll be also offering a course on machine learning. And later, we'll be offering other courses also, deep learning and applications in preferred area. These details will be sharing later, exactly which courses, what modules, and what all the payment details, registration links, and all those things. If any one of you are interested, you can register. So we have identified few courses here that will be offering eventually. We can extend it depending upon the need. Our center is developing this content actively with all these are wonderful PhD scholars we have, Navita, Mukaju, Rajat, Sanju, Abhinav, and others. Okay, so we'll be doing that and expanding also. So just a preview, 2 courses, Python and machine learning. If any of you are interested, you can register for them. They are online and they'll be in after hours, evenings. Because even organizing a workshop like this is a big problem because people have their classes, they have their office jobs and everything. Getting everyone together at a certain time for a certain amount of time is very hard. Online courses at your leisure in the evenings is the easiest approach, I think. So we'll be sharing this thing in a couple of weeks. Those who want to register for it, you're welcome to.
Anyone can register, so
Anyone can, sir.
or you ought to have a specific.
Anyone, sir. Anyone who wants to learn Python programming. We'll try to make it, it will help if you have any programming knowledge, any language if you have done once, it will help. Even if you haven't, then it will be a good programming course to start with because somewhere you have to start. So Python course will be for those who have never done programming. ML can be for those who have done some programming in Python. Then they can go directly to ML, machine learning. Okay, this is our team, many schools. Many people are present here also. In medical sciences. And scholars also are from many different schools. It's a multidisciplinary center. And thank you.
A very special thanks to Sir for sharing his valuable insights, which has provided us deeper understanding about artificial intelligence and its related tools. Now, here we came to an end today. As we conclude this insightful event, I would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed guests for gracing us with their presence and wisdom. Your valuable contribution has enriched our knowledge and inspired us. I would also like to express my sincere thanks to the attendees, without whom this event wouldn't have been the same. Your participation has made this gathering more meaningful. Lastly, a big thanks to all the volunteers for making this event a success. As we all leave here, may we carry the knowledge gained from this event forward and continue to strive for excellence in our respective fields. Thank you once again to all. Now we can get up and collect our refreshment. I request all the faculty members.
Just 1 minute. Sorry, Scott. I must mention a couple of names here. Professor Ruqayya Khanum and Ms. Bushra Khan, Mrs. Bushra Khan. They have worked a lot, and I'm really thankful for all their effort and to make this success. And she had to be away on a legal case, and she came, after so much personal effort she has put into it, and really appreciate all the hard work. Thank you.
I would request all the faculty members to kindly come on the stage for a photograph. All the faculty members, please.